is Mr. Smiley, and that's right, everybody, we're gonna be doing another reaction video today. Oh my word, it's another Star Wars one. I love these Star Wars requests, and everybody's been wanting me to do some more Star Wars requests, so I will actually do some more. I'm actually doing like the hat here. Yeah, it's got the Star Wars hat going on. This one, actually, I got a couple of them and everything too, but this one right here was actually by Actus Nero. Boom! There's that comment. Look at him there. And he says, could you react to Dave Filoni? Just change the prequels for me. Watch this by Star Wars Theory. I love Star Wars Theory and how he breaks down Star Wars. This was actually a live stream one too, if I'm correct. And so he says, since it's a longer one, he wants me to start it at 1640. And there was another one too by Darth Vader by Leah T.S. I'm gonna do that one another one since this one's already so long as it is. The original one is like 32 minutes long, but without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Here we go. Whoa! Oh yes, that's right, we're down here. Star Wars Theory's up in here. Oh my goodness, I do recommend go checking him out. If you guys have not seen him, I will be putting his link way up there somewhere. So you guys can go check out some Star Wars Theory here, and I have it right here at 1640. And I'm actually going to go ahead and like the video. Hey, you know, why not, you know? So let's go ahead and jump on in here. Dave Filoni just changed the prequels for me. Oh my goodness. What does this mean? I may have to actually go back and watch the whole video, but let's go ahead and do this here from 1640. Shall we? Let's see what they got going on up in here.
Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Welcome to this video. Sit back, relax. This is going to be a really interesting one. Probably one of the most important videos that I could react to or talk about. Regarding copyright for this video, dude, if you're here, great. It might be taken down. I'm not sure, but under my understanding of copyright law, if you're reacting to something and talking about it, like a news anchor or someone would, then it falls under fair use. But that being said, you never know with this stuff. So right. In that case, if that happens, please go to Disney Plus, go to the what is it, Disney Gallery, Mandalorian, and Episode 2, the last 6 or 7 minutes. Dave Filoni will be talking about something that will enlighten literally everyone, and I wish that every Star Wars fan could watch that little excerpt from that, which we're going to watch here and react to it. And I'm going to be pausing it in between and talking about different things that he's talking about and going off my own theories and tangents. Yeah, but I truly believe that Dave Filoni is the most brilliant man when it comes to following George Lucas's story and what he wanted, because he is the true apprentice to Dave. So have your pens and pencils ready. Take notes. This is really most eloquent discussion I've ever heard about Star Wars, the prequels, and leading into Episode 6 and encapsulating it fully in what Star Wars really is. So here we go. He's talking about the prequels first off, and again, this is Episode 2 of Disney Gallery's Mando behind the scenes or some making of, and it's the last 6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I thought we're almost an impossible task. How do you tell the story that we've all grown up with, imagining who Anakin Skywalker was? You saw so many things in Phantom Menace that you just imagined, like the Jedi Council, and none of it really was what I had expected. But I know now that that's just like how creative George is. Like, he just sees it differently, and he's laying it down. And I love the lightsaber fight with Darth Maul, not because it's a lightsaber fight, but because George is so good at crafting why that fight's important every time.
This is crazy.
Like, the Obi-Wan Darth Vader fight isn't like the most wonderfully staged necessarily combat that you're ever going to see, but there's so much at stake. It's so meaningful when Obi-Wan dies that we all feel like Luke. In Phantom Menace, you're watching these two Jedi in their prime fight this evil villain. Maul couldn't be more obvious.
That's his signature, like, and it's in like Battlefront 2, and I love it. Every time he pulls out, like when he's about to do his lightsaber and stuff, like, he does that move. I love it. It's so good.
The villain, he's designed to look evil, and he is evil, and he just expresses that from his face all the way out through the type of lightsaber he fights with. What's at stake is really how Anakin's going to turn out.
This is the coolest part.
Qui-Gon is different than the rest of the Jedi, and you get that in the movie. And Qui-Gon is fighting because he knows he's the father that Anakin needs. Because Qui-Gon hasn't given up on the fact that Jedi are supposed to actually care and love. And that's not a bad thing. The rest of the Jedi are so detached, and they've become so political that they've really lost their way. And Yoda starts to see that in the second film. but Qui-Gon is ahead of them all. And that's why he's not part of the council. So he's fighting for Anakin, and that's why it's the duel of the fates. It's the fate of this child. And depending on how this fight goes...
Duel of the Fates! Come on, Stover, look at that. Look at it. He's like, I'll mimic him. Like... Wow, okay. It makes sense. It's really, really good. Duel of the Fates. He's fighting for the fate of Anakin. He cares for him. He's being the father that Anakin needs, because he never really had a father. Oh, wow, that gave me goosebumps.
For Anakin, and that's why it's the Duel of the Fates. It's the fate of this child. And depending on how this fight goes...
What the hell, dude?
Anakin is his life is gonna be dramatically different. So
yeah,
Qui-Gon loses, of course.
Isn't that I never knew Duel of the Fates meant the fate of this child, meant the fate of Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Like, when I saw that, I watched this over the weekend, and I was just like, just sitting there dumbfounded. I'm like, holy crap, this is amazing. Like, they really thought about literally this, like, George thought about literally everything, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's something so rare today. So Duel of the Fates, you know, naming the song that John Williams made.
Yeah.
You know, that is really...
Let's give him a life for that. The interpretation of that song just then. That was good. Let's hear that again.
Williams made, you know, that is really about Anakin. So it's like that battle is the most important battle in all of Star Wars. And then he's going to tie it into Return of the Jedi at the very end as well. So we can see that if Qui-Gon, plain and simple in canon, I believe now, if Dave is saying it, it's as good as coming from George's mouth pretty much for me. If Qui-Gon had survived and trained Anakin, then Vader would have never been created. The galaxy would have never turned to turmoil and been destroyed because...
Come on, Obi-Wan! Why did you fail us all here?
Anakin would have had the father figure that he needed.
Yeah.
So the father figure, because he knew what it meant to take this kid away from his mother when he had an attachment, and he's left with Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan trains Anakin at first out of a promise he makes to Qui-Gon, not because he cares about him.
It's true.
When they get Anakin, when they find him on Tatooine, he says, "Why do I feel like we've found another useless life form?" He's comparing Anakin to Jar Jar.
Excuse me.
And he's saying, this is a waste of our time. Why are we doing this? Why do you see importance in these creatures like Jar Jar Binks and this 10-year-old boy? This is useless. So he's a brother to Anakin eventually, but he's not a father figure.
Wow.
And that's, herein is where the entire problem lies in Star Wars, where Obi-Wan was basically trying to play the father, but he never truly cared for Anakin the way Qui-Gon did. He merely was just doing a favor to his old master. He never really cared for the child. And if you do remember in episode 1, he says, "Why do I feel like we found another useless life form?" He's talking about a 10-year-old kid, a 9-year-old kid. Like, you can see now where everything has gone awry.
That's a failing for Anakin. He doesn't have the family that he needs. He loses his mother in the next film. He fails on this.
And losing his mother, I think, was Obi-Wan's fault. And he blamed Obi-Wan for that in the Attack of the Clones book, because he starts talking about how he should have been stronger, he could have learned more, but also because if you remember in Attack of the Clones, he was talking about how he has dreams of his mother dying. And Obi-Wan just kind of like thwarts them away and be like, "Oh, we must be mindful of the living force." Like, we just shouldn't even worry about that stuff. Just, you know, detach yourself from everything. Be mindful of your thoughts, all that. And he just kind of ignores him. And then sure enough, his mother dies. So Anakin always blamed him for that. And I made a video about that too.
Promise that he made, "Mother, I will come back and save you." So he's left completely vulnerable. And Star Wars ultimately is about family. So that moment in that movie, which a lot of people I think diminish into just a cool lightsaber fight, but it's everything that the entire 3 films of the prequels hangs on, is that one particular fight. And Maul serves his purpose, and at that point died before George may bring him back. But he died, and that's showing you again how the Emperor is completely self-serving. He doesn't care, it's just a tool, and he's using people, and now he's going to use this child. That follows all the way through to the line which terrified me as a kid when the Emperor tells Luke, "You, like your father, are now mine." And the idea when I was
Wow.
watching that movie of some evil person possessing my father, making him do things or making him be evil was terrifying. That was like a thought that was horrible. Also, it's amazing when you watch Return of the Jedi that Luke has never done anything that I would call it like he's a bad character. He has like a tendency to be dark, and a lot of people wonder, Anakin, oh, he should have been darker as a character. It's not true at all. I believe Luke would turn to the dark side in Return of the Jedi. I believe that was on the table. I believe that he would kill the Emperor, and because of the way George arranged the story, I knew that was the wrong thing to do. When he's saying, you know, you want your weapon, you know, strike me down, I am defenseless. He wants him to give into his anger. He wants him to give into his hate and the fear, the structure that George has laid out in all the movies.
So I almost feel like at this point, I just thought of something now. So in the novel, it explains that, in the Episode 9 novel, it explains that Palpatine wanted Luke to strike him down so that he could basically do the thing that Rey was going to do to him. But now it seems like Dave Filoni is, you know, given the true explanation, which was what George's was, because I feel like they kind of changed things now, which was that he wanted, as originally stated, he wanted Luke to strike him down and give in to his anger, because if he did that, then his journey to the dark side would be complete. Because once you taste that, you take the sip of the hater side, the darker side, just like Anakin did when he killed the Tuskens, forever will it dominate your destiny.
It is coming to fruition now. And the only thing that's going to save him is not his connection to the Force. It's not the powers he's learned. It's not all these things that are an advantage to him. That's gotten him to the table. But what saves Luke is his ability to look at all that and look at his father and say, no, I'm going to throw away this weapon. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let that go and be selfless. And he says, you know, I am a Jedi like my father before me. But what he's really saying, and why I connect so powerfully to it, is like he's saying, I love my father, and there's nothing you can do that's going to change that.
Wow.
And the Emperor can't understand that connection. Why wouldn't you take some African power of the galaxy? Why wouldn't you take this? And Anakin then in that moment has to decide to be the father that he's never had. He has to give up all the power in the galaxy.
Like Qui-Gon. Because, you know, Qui-Gon never, like, yeah, man, it's
and
good.
Save his son.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So at that moment, he realizes he has to be Qui-Gon. Like, it literally comes full circle. Like, it makes me emotional just talking about it. It's like, I didn't even, dude, like, I'm getting emotional, man. I didn't even think of this, you know? It's
that's
so
the
good.
selfless act
really
that he
cool.
does in return for his son. And that's what saves him in turn. So the son saved the father saved the son. And it works out perfectly. And I draw that line all the way from Phantom Menace to Jedi. That's the story of Star Wars.
So when he pops
Everything
the
else,
helmet, you're saying when he pops the helmet off in that moment was part of the
it's
fated arc.
It's all part of the fated arc. It's all part of like why it works and why we care. It's not about X-Wings. It's not about all the things we decorate Star Wars. And it's important. It's part of the genius of it. But we soulfully react like we don't just want an action movie. We want to feel uplifted. And Star Wars is an adventure that makes you feel good. You know,
Wow.
It makes me feel like, wow, I want to be a part of that. So that's what I always go back to with Star Wars, is this selfless act and this family dynamic, which is so important.
See, this is what I love about Star Wars theory, man, is like, it doesn't even matter of like, if he gets emotional and stuff, you know, he's not afraid to show it, you know, because of his love of Star Wars. You can tell he's starting to get emotion about it because, I mean, it's such a big thing. It's not just like, blah, you know, action, blah, blah, blah. It's a story. It's a really, really good story.
To George, so important to the foundation of Star Wars. That's in us. And what I like about it is it is really saying there is a lot of hope out there. Yeah. That we fundamentally want to be good people, that we can all be driven to do terrible things, but that we can persevere through selfless action. So George has this hopeful story, and it's something that he's reiterated most times I've seen him, you know, after we've been making things without him, is remember to make these stories hopeful. Remember to give that to kids because they really need it. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Did I bring us down?
Wow,
Okay,
that
that's
is
that is
beautiful.
yeah. I think
It's so true.
So, yeah. So I mean that. I don't even have anything to say after that, man. I think George.
It kind of made full circle though, because I didn't know what they were talking about at first, but now it all like came together and everything too. That's why I mean he said to start it then and all that too. So that's why I went back to kind of get the full interview, anyways. And I wouldn't mind if it's a longer video if you guys want to skip through and all that too. But yeah, you know, and then we kind of just saw what he was just talking about too. And you guys can go back and watch that. But wow, it's so good. It makes sense though of it given like all of Star Wars. It's almost like the whole story of Star Wars is about hope, you know? And like he said, you know, the way that Anakin grows up and didn't have a father, and Qui-Gon wanted to be the father, you know? And I'm sure it would have changed everything about the whole Star Wars, like, you know, scene or whatever you call it. But, man, it's just the fact, like, I never thought about that. You know, it literally, when you see Star Wars and you see an action battle scene, it's like, oh, cool, they're having really cool action scenes. And that one I feel is a little bit more animated when they get into, like, the choreography or whatever, how they did the actual, like, saber battles. But, oh my goodness, you guys, like, that is insane just to think about that they made the song, like we mentioned back in the beginning of this video, is the Duel of the Fates. The fate of Anakin. I never thought of that, and that's it. Literally, it's like, you know, the way that George does, man. He brings everything full circle. Is that, you know, how he makes it, how he makes the whole timeline. That's what I was trying to say earlier. The timeline all connect. And oh my word. And that was a very emotional thing at the end there too, of it being like Darth Vader wanting to be the Qui-Gon that, or he wanted to be in Qui-Gon's position and be the father that he never had. He had to become his father. Like his actual, like, father, like he cares. You know? Oh, it really is kind of, like, emotional if you think about it, too. Like, it's so good. Star Wars is so good. Oh my goodness, you know? Star Wars Theory actually did a very, very phenomenal one. And you guys can go, like he said, you mentioned in the video, guys can go check out how he did that too. Please go check out Star Wars Theory. I hope he gets to see this too, on how much I admire Star Wars Theory. And I would love to do more Star Wars Theory videos, like breakdowns and stuff kind of like this, interviews, because wow. And literally, yeah, Dave Filoni, he changed it for me, because you never knew. And it's insane. It's really, really insane. I hope you guys liked it, though, since we actually did kind of go through here. And it was a live video for him, so he's kind of talking to chat. And I didn't want to, like, do too much of that, because I didn't want you guys to kind of veer off or whatever. Or veer from the video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I want to do some more of these. This is good. This is really good. I like these. Oh, but thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Mr. Smiley, and if you like this video, punch the smile button so hard that more Star Wars Theory can hear it. And just remember, guys, you guys are so awesome, and you mean so much to me, and you matter. I believe in you guys. Until the next one, my name is Mr. Smiley, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Let's get those positive 5 fingers up in the air. Come on, we're gonna do the old send-off. Here we go. Here it comes, everybody. We'll see ya.